The polytheists made God into a trinity, the polytheists made God into a golden calf, and God severely rebuked them for this. Exodus 32. When the people saw that Moses delayed coming down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron and said to him, "Come, make us gods who will go before us, for as for this Moses, the man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him." Aaron said to them, "Take off the gold rings that are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me." So all the people took off the gold rings that were in their ears and brought them to Aaron. He received them from their hands, melted the gold down in a mold, and made a molten calf. And they said, "These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt." When Aaron saw this, he built an altar before it and proclaimed, "Tomorrow there shall be a festival to the Lord." The next day they rose early and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. The people sat down to eat and drink, and then rose up to play. The Lord said to Moses, "Go down at once, for your people, whom you brought up out of the land of Egypt, have become corrupt. They have quickly turned aside from the way I commanded them. They have made for themselves a molten calf, and have worshipped it and sacrificed to it, and have said, 'These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt.'" The Lord said to Moses, "I have seen this people, and indeed, it is a stiff-necked people. Now leave me alone, my anger will burn against them, and I will consume them, but I will make you into a great nation." Moses pleaded with the Lord his God, saying, "Why, O Lord, should your anger burn against your people, whom you brought out of the land of Egypt with great power and a mighty hand? Why should the Egyptians say, 'It was with evil intent that he brought them out, to kill them in the mountains and to wipe them off the face of the earth'? Turn from your fierce anger, and relent from the disaster you intend to bring on your people. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, your servants, to whom you swore by your own self, 'I will multiply your descendants like the stars of heaven, and I will give to your descendants all this land that I have promised, and they shall possess it forever.' And the Lord relented from the disaster he had threatened to bring on his people. Moses returned and went down the mountain with the 2 tablets of the covenant law in his hands. The tablets were written on both sides, on both sides. The tablets were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God, engraved on the tablets. Joshua heard the sound of the people shouting, and he said to Moses, "There is a sound of war in the camp." Moses answered, "It is not the sound of victory, nor is it the sound of defeat, what I hear is the sound of singing." And as he approached the camp, he saw the calf and the dancing. Moses' anger burned, and he threw the tablets out of his hands and broke them at the foot of the mountain. He took the calf they had made and burned it with fire. He ground it to powder, scattered the powder on the surface of the water, and made the Israelites drink it. Moses said to Aaron, "What have these people done to you, that you have allowed them to commit such a great sin?" Aaron replied, "Do not be angry with my Lord. You yourself know that this people is prone to evil. They said to me, 'Make us gods who will go before us, for as for this Moses, the man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him.' I said to them, 'Let those who have gold take it off.' And they gave it to me, I threw it into the fire, and out came this calf." Moses saw that the people were running wild, and that Aaron had let them continue in this disorder, making them a disgrace among their enemies. Moses stood at the gate of the camp and said, "Whoever is for the Lord, come to me." And all the Levites gathered around him. He said to them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says, each of you is to put on his sword and go back and forth through the camp from one gate to the other, and each of you is to kill his brother and his relative." The Levites did as Moses commanded, and about 3,000 of the people died that day. Then Moses said, "Consecrate yourselves today to the Lord, even if it means sacrificing your son or your brother, so that he may bless you today." The next day Moses said to the people, "You have committed a great sin. I will now go up to the Lord, perhaps I can obtain forgiveness for your sin." Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Oh, this people has committed a great sin. They have made for themselves a god of gold. Now, please forgive their sin, but if not, blot me out of the book you have written." The Lord said to Moses, "Whoever has sinned against me I will blot out of my book. Now go, lead the people to the place I told you about. My angel will go before you, but on the day of my vengeance I will punish them for their sin." The Lord struck the people because they had made the calf that Aaron had made. The Jews say, Ezra is the son of Allah, and the Christians say, the Messiah is the son of Allah. That is their statement from their mouths. They imitate the saying of those who disbelieved before them. May Allah destroy them. How can they deviate from the truth? What truth are we talking about? That the sun is nothing without its light and heat? That space, time, and dimension form a trinity that I will call Dialga for time, Palkia for space, and Giratina for dimension? O people of the book, Christians, do not exaggerate in your religion, and speak of God only the truth. The Messiah, Jesus, Son of the Holy Spirit, was but a messenger of God, His word which He sent to Mary, and a breath of life from Him. So believe in God and His messengers. And do not say, 3. Refrain. It is better for you. God is but one God. He is too glorious to have a son. To Him belongs all that is in the heavens and on the earth, and God suffices as a protector. Don't we say of the Messiah that He is perfectly man in the flesh, perfectly Spirit of God, and perfectly soul of God? Breath is the soul, speech is the spirit, and His flesh originates from human nature, from His human condition. Dialga and Palkia exist to maintain the balance of time and space, while Giratina exists in a dimension of reversal linked to antimatter and distortion. All three are fundamental principles that exist for the balance of time, space, and its dimension. For the Greeks, time is divided into three distinct entities: chronos for physical time, the time we measure chronologically; kairos for metaphysical time, the decisive turning point, with a before and an after; and finally, aion for cyclical and eternal time. Why do we make associations with divinity? Precisely because divinity is a concept of infinity, we choose to elaborate on all its theological and essential aspects. We usually associate Allah with the lunar god, because like the moon, he is solitary and his phases play several roles, like a certain two-face. The association of the moon with Allah in Islam stems from several aspects. It is a symbol of guidance. The Islamic calendar is based on lunar cycles, and the Quran mentions the moon as one of the signs of the divine, which should not be worshipped but rather contemplated to understand God's creation. The moon served as a guide for night travelers in the desert, thus symbolizing divine direction and light on the path of life, as in the Jewish concept of the Shekinah. The Shekinah refers to the divine presence of God in the world, often represented by a cloud or a glory. This concept, originating in Talmudic and biblical literature, was developed extensively in the Jewish mysticism of Kabbalah, where it is seen as the feminine and receptive principle of the divine, the consort of the Sapphire Tiferet, and the wife of Israel. Those who say, indeed, God is the third of three, are certainly disbelievers. While there is only one God. And if they continue to say this, surely a painful punishment will befall the disbelievers among them. Believers are encouraged to observe the moon and reflect on God's greatness through His creation, without worshipping the moon itself. Animists associate God with omnipresent nature. They say that God is present in every natural element, whether humans, animals, rocks, trees, or rivers, all possess a particle of God within them. Hagoromo did not teach ninjutsu but ninshu, which is the art of controlling one's chakra. Chakra is this energy we speak of, the particle of God present in every being and every object, for the purpose of stimulating or simulating its abilities. Jesus is the essence of God, the zip file of Yahweh. We tend to associate the sun with the sun, for He is the light of the world. The association of religion with the sun and the sun stems from various cultures, where the sun is seen as a source of life, light, and power, and sometimes associated with divine figures or royal lineages. The Incas, for example, considered the sun their divine father, and their emperor was his son, a reference to the sun god and the sun king. Other myths, such as that of Phaeton in Greek mythology, make him the son of the sun god Helios. Why speak of heavenly things to explain earthly things? Jesus told us, "If I have told you earthly things and you do not believe, how will you believe if I tell you heavenly things?" The heavens we observe are an indicator of God. It is said that God rests in heaven, isn't it? So, how can we observe God without observing heaven? The Bible describes heaven as God's throne, where He sits and reigns with angels and saints. Zoroastrianism, while not strictly monotheistic, has concepts of a divine king and a celestial kingdom, along with ideas about the end times. Even though God is in heaven, he is also omnipresent and transcendent. He is perceived both as a king in his celestial kingdom and as a compassionate and intimate father to his believers. Those who associate God with his glory make associations to interpret him, but your imams are not priests, so you are forbidden to interpret God for fear of blaspheming him, and the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.